Alright class, today we're going to be talking about transformations, and there are three transformations that this video is going to cover. It's going to cover the translations, reflections, and dilation. Okay, so we're going to look ahead and look at some vocabulary. A transformation is when you take a pre-image and you transform it to create a new image, depending on which of the three they give you. Now, when you have a translating transformation, you're just moving the object without changing the shape or the size. So you notice how you're sliding. So when you think of translation, I want you to think of the word slide. So just like sliding it across the coordinate plane. Okay. When you have a image with a reflection, you are flipping an image across a line without changing the size or the shape. So notice how this picture, we reflected it across the y-axis, but the shape is still the same size and like overall features, but it's reflecting. Like if there was a mirror here, what would it look like on the other side? Okay, so we'll look at that. And the last one is the dilation, when we enlarge or we shrink an image based on the scale factor. So the word here that we're going to really look at is scale factor. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip to the next page so that you can see the different examples. Alright, so the translation example here. We want to translate this shape. Notice how the problem has given you some sort of directions here. We're given a coordinate point, and we're going to move either to the left, to the right, up, or down, depending on what they give us. So, the first one, we are going to look at this variable, or this point K, right here. K, the way I write the ordered pair is K is 1 and 3. Now, in order for me to get K prime, and K prime is the number, like the new ordered pair. In order for me to get to the new ordered pair, based on what I've highlighted here, I'm going to take the X value and subtract by 4. Okay, 1 minus 4 will give me negative 3. Then with my K value, or sorry, my Y value, I'm starting with 3, but the directions here, the rule is I have to subtract by 5. So I'm really going to be doing 3 minus 5 to get my new Y value. And that is going to be the new ordered pair for K. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that. So I'm going to go negative 1, 2, 3, and then negative 2. So this is K prime. So how did I do that? Well, let's look over here on the steps. Decide if you're moving left or right. Well, if you are looking at this X value, when you are subtracting something, you're going in a negative direction. And when we were talking about slope, remember that we had X going into a negative direction meant you would go to the left. So in this case, really, I was taking this K and moving 4 units to the left-hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the Y value, I was subtracting 5 from that. So really, when we talked about slope, a negative number, a negative direction was going down. So really, I just went down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you could use the coordinate plane to solve these problems, or you can just use math, simple calculations. You can get the new ordered pair. So we are moving 4 units to the left because of the minus 4, X minus 4. And then whether you have to decide if you're moving up or down, well, the Y value takes care of that. Because there's 5 units, we're going to move 5 units down. And that's how you would graph the new shape. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing, but now I'm going to use the coordinate L. And that coordinate point is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 5. So using that same rule, I'm going to subtract 4 from my x and subtract 5 from my y to get my L prime. 3 minus 4 is -1. 5 minus 5 is 0. So my new point for L prime is -1, 0. Okay. Last one, we're going to be looking at M. So M's ordered pair is going to be -3, 1. So I'm going to go M, -3, oh sorry, +3, 1. So you're going to do the exact same rule, -4, -5 to get N prime. 3 minus 4 is -1. 1 minus 5 is -4. So I'm going to plot my new point, -1, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is my new image. Okay, notice how basically what you did was you slided, or you had your image slide over to the quadrant number 3. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing with translating. We're moving up or down, left or right, depending on what the rule they gave us. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and look at these examples and see what the rule would be in order for us to slide this. Okay, so for the x values, I've highlighted all the x values I'm trying to look at. So for the point A, I have -7 and I'm going to -9. Now, the computation for that, or like the operation that you have to do from -7 to -9, is that you subtract 2 to get more, to get in the negative. So if I take -7 and I subtract 2, I will get -9. If I take -2 and subtract 2, I will get -4. So it's kind of like a pattern that you need to find. So whatever x value you have, you need to subtract 2 to get that rule. So now I'm going to highlight the y value so that you can see what that pattern will look like. Okay, so I've highlighted the y values, and in order for me to get, for the example point A, for me to get from 10 to 14, that pattern is I have to add 4 to get 14. With 2 plus 4 gives me 16. So again, it has to be the same pattern in order to get to the next one. So whatever the y value is, I'm going to add 4. So that's how you find a rule based on the ordered pairs that they give you. With number 3, you have to look at the coordinate points and see what you're going to have to do in order to slide this image. The original image is the black one, how it got to the blue image because of all the primes. You see all these prime, the commas and stuff, so that's the new image that I'm looking at. Okay, so I have x and x prime, the coordinate points, so let's see how, what we're going to be doing, or what's the rule in order to get to the new image. So my old image, I had a +2, and then I went to -2. So what is that rule right there? What am I looking at? Well, 2 going into -2, I know that I'm going to be subtracting. So how do we do that? Well, from 2 to -2, I have to subtract by 4. So what I'm going to be doing as my rule is subtracting 4. You could also see this on the graph. You subtract 4 by going to the left for 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You eventually get to this line here. Later we're going to move up, but I just wanted to show you that you can also use the coordinate points, coordinate plane to show you. Now, for the y rule, because we moved over to the left-hand side 4 units, we moved up. So the operation that means positive is by going up, +1. So my y value is going to be y +1, and that's how I'm going to get my new ordered pairs. So I can show you with u prime, or u and u prime. So I'm going to get, this is where I start. I'm trying to get to this u prime. I'm going to move to the left 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go up 1. So that rule still applies to that. If I look at w, I move forward to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I go up, I get w prime. So that's how you solve translating. Okay? Or I'm sorry, yeah, translating. Now I'm going to go ahead and look at reflections and show you what that looks like. Actually, I'm going to create a separate video for reflections, but you can go ahead and look at these notes. Hopefully that helps you with the translating transformation.